All right, 13-5, we're going to do the cosine function. Again, if you understood what we did just now, you should be fine. First off, let's do a quick comparison. Okay, we're going to compare what we just did. That's sine theta, y equals sine theta, versus, it's like the battle of the century, y equals cosine theta. So let's compare these two. And as we compare them, you should be able to graph this on your own. So sine, first off, let's go ahead and just draw two unit circles here. Leave a little bit of space here. Let's draw two unit circles. One for sine, one for cosine. Let's draw two unit circles, so each radius should be 1. Now we know that the radius of a unit circle is 1 everywhere, so let's go ahead and label these points. Remember, the inside, the center is 0, 0, so therefore this must be 1, 0, and this must be negative 1, 0, right? You go right, you go left, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. You go up, it'd be 0, 1. You go down, it'd be 0, negative 1. Right, and then just copy the same thing over here. 1, 0, 0, 1. Negative 1, 0. 0, 1. 0, negative 1. All right, we're going to figure out what the difference is going to be. All right, let's go ahead and draw two graphs that we're going to fill in. So first for the sine, again, let's just do we'll just do one cycle. So 4 ticks, 1, 2, 3, 4, just one cycle here, and do the same thing for cosine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sine and cosine. Okay, at the end of this little 5-minute exercise, you should be able to graph this. So, sine. Let's review what we just learned, guys. Sine, as I go, pretend I'm just going along this Ferris wheel. Which coordinate am I concerned about, ladies and gentlemen, for sine? Does that represent the x coordinates, the left and right, or the y, the up and down coordinates? That is the y. Sine represents my y value. So, let's think about this in terms of radians. Right? So, for radians, remember all the way around is going to be 2 pi. Halfway around is going to be pi. Right? 2 pi, pi. Half of pi is going to be pi over 2. And then just like we count here, we got 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, 4 pi over 2, which is 2 pi. Exactly. Let's go and label that. So we got 2 pi. You cut that in half, you got pi. You cut that in half again, you got pi over 2, 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, and 3 pi over 2. Finally, our amplitude for this is just a regular unit circle. So it's just going to be 1. Alright, we're all set up. This is just a review. We've already done this. So let's think about, guys, as I'm riding this Ferris wheel, I'm always calling out the y coordinate. So I get on that Ferris wheel. What is my initial y coordinate here, ladies and gentlemen? Right here, what is it? Is it 1 or 0? 0. My y coordinate is 0, so I start at 0. And that's what we learned that, right? We start at 0, and for the sine, remember I go start at 0, and when I come all the way back around, what do I end at? You end at 0, you start at 0, you end at 0, and halfway at pi, what is your y coordinate still going to be? 0. Start at 0, end at 0, middle is 0. And then normally, without the negative, right, I'm going up, 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 up. So at pi over 2, what is my y coordinate here? 1. So at pi over 2, I'm up at 1. And then down here, at 3 pi over 2, my y coordinate is negative 1. Right, that's what we just did, right? Start at 0, end at 0, a middle is 0, go up, go down. Let's go ahead and just draw that. That's what we just did. So, right, you start at 0, you end at 0, and the middle is 0. Start at 0, end at 0, middle is 0. Then you go up, and you go down. That's sine. Right? Sine is the y coordinates. So, ladies and gentlemen, for cosine, what coordinate is represented by the cosine function? The x, the left and right value. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's fill in the same radians. We got 2 pi. We got pi. We got pi over 2. Bless you. We got 3 pi over 2. Let's fill that in. So 2 pi. We got pi. You half that. You got pi over 2. we'll count 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. Fill in your amplitude, 1, -1. I think you guys can actually fill in cosine without me teaching you. I think you guys can fill it in on your own. So go ahead and do that. Pretend you're riding this Ferris wheel, except instead of calling out the y, you're going to plot the x as you go along. I'm going to call out my x coordinate. So ladies and gentlemen, I get on this Ferris wheel. The music starts. What do I call out first? 1. I start at 1. Start at the top. You start at 1. I'm calling out the x coordinate. You can underline if you want. My x is getting smaller, 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 smaller. Right here at pi over 2, guys, what is my x? 0. Pi over 2 is 0. Pi over 2 is 0. Oh, I've entered negative territory. Negative, more and more negative, more and more negative. What is my y coordinate right here? Sorry, my x coordinate right here. -1. So all the way down. It's like a little slide here. And then I'm coming back, still negative, getting bigger and bigger though, less and less negative. Boom, what is my x coordinate right here? 0. And then back up, I'm positive, more and more positive, more and more positive. And finally, what is my x coordinate at the very end? 1, back to 1. It's a cycle, it's a full cycle. Looks like a V, except when you sketch it, it's going to be a U. So I like to come down here like this. I like to just kind of show that, to show it's going to come back down. It's not shooting upwards. Right, that is cosine. That is cosine. Was anybody able to guess that just by thinking about it? One person was able to guess that. 2? 3. All right. 3 people. All right, that's fine. Good work. So cosine, we can tell, guys, immediately we're not starting at 0. What are we starting at? What are we starting at for cosine, ladies and gentlemen? You start at 1, or the amplitude. You start at 1, in other words, or the amplitude. Right, so if the amplitude is 2, you start at 2. And then you go down. And then you come back to 1. Let's go ahead and graph. 2 cycles. Let's graph 2 cycles of y equals 2 cosine 3 theta. 2 cosine 3 theta. We can just start putting numbers here because it's the same idea. 2 cosine 3 theta. So our amplitude, ladies and gentlemen, what is our amplitude? 2. It's taller than normal. Our B is 3, so he's going faster than normal. Therefore, our period is going to be, same thing, guys, same period on top. What is the normal period always going to be? 2 pi, and then I just throw this number right here underneath. 2 pi over 3. I can't simplify that. So there it is. That's 1 cycle. 1 cycle is 2 pi over 3. 1 cycle is 2 pi over 3. All right, let's go ahead and graph that. So we're going to do 2 cycles. Let's do the first cycle first. 4 ticks. 4 ticks for 1 cycle. Okay, we label 2 pi over 3 right here. 2 pi over 3. Okay, so let's half that. Remember, half of 4 ticks is 2 ticks. So right here, guys, half of 2 pi over 3, double the denominator. I'm going to get 2 pi over what number? 2 pi over 6. But I can reduce 2 over 3. Right? 2 pi over 6 reduces to 1 pi. Sorry, 2 pi over 6 reduces to 1 pi over 3. Right? 2 over 6, right? 2 pi over 6 is the same as 1 pi over 3. So if I half that again, pi over 3, double this number, guys. Well, what's going to be pi over 6, right? 3 times 2 is 6. Now, for this mystery one, I'm just going to count because each tick is worth pi over 6. So 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6. This one's going to be 3 pi over 6. 3 over 6. What is 3 divided by 6, though? 1 over 2, right? 3 over 6 is 1 over 2, so I get pi over 2. And we already did this one, actually, but I just wanted to show you again. Our amplitude is 2, so we'll go up 2. Looks very similar so far. All right, very similar. The only difference is, guys, it's not sine. I don't start at 0. Where do I start at? You start at top. Start at the very top, and then you come down. You come down. So pi over 6, you come down. At pi over 3, you come all the way down. And then pi over 2, you come back up. And then 2 pi over 3, you come all the way back up. That is one cycle. Looks like a V. Okay, let's do 4 more ticks here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just one more cycle here. Two cycles total. 1, 2, 3, 4 more ticks. Let's go ahead and count it off. 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6. What's the next one going to be? 5 pi over 6. Good. The next one is 6 pi over 6. What is 6 over 6? Pi. 1 pi. Right? Then the next one's going to be 7 pi over 6. Good. The next one's going to be 8 pi over 6, but 8 pi over 6, if I divide 8 by 2 and 6 by 2, I get 4 pi over 3. In addition to spitting a little bit on this paper. Okay. So same thing, we start on top, we come down, we come all the way down, we go to the middle, we come back up. There it is. Start at top, we go down, we come all the way down, middle, come back up. Looks like a W now. That is 2 cycles. Alright, I'm just going to draw a little bit extra there just to show how it keeps going. Graph 2 cycles of, let's do y equals 1/2 cosine 4 theta. Y equals 1/2 cosine 4 theta. We have our A is 1/2. Our A is 1/2. So ladies and gentlemen, is this going to be taller or shorter graph than normal? It's going to be short. The amplitude is only 1/2. B is 4. He's going really fast. So our period equals, again, ladies and gentlemen, what number always goes on top of the fraction? What is our normal period? Is 2 pi. Good. 2 pi over 4. That reduces down to being pi over 2. So one cycle is pi over 2. So this fourth tick, 1, 2, 3, 4, should be pi over 2. The fourth tick should be pi over 2. That's one cycle. The fourth tick is pi over 2. Okay, let's cut that in half. Second tick, double the denominator, guys. What's half of pi over 2? Pi over, half of 2, pi over 4. Good. Just double the denominator. Half of pi over 4 is pi over 8. Good. And now I just count out. 1 pi over 8, 2 pi over 8, 3 pi over 8. Let's just do them all. 1 pi over 8, 2 pi over 8, 3 pi over 8, 4 pi over 8, which is that. Therefore, the next one must be 5 pi over 8. 5 pi over 8. Then the next one must be 6 pi over 8. 6 over 8 is the same, if I divide them both by 2, as 3 pi over 4. Then I have 7 pi over 8. 7 pi over 8. And the last one we have 8 pi over 8. 8 over 8 gives me pi, 1 pi. Our amplitude is only 1/2, so kind of short down here. Okay? Amplitude is 1/2. Ladies and gentlemen, where do we start? Do we start at 0? Where do we start at? We start at 1/2. Start at the top. You go down. You go all the way down. You come back up. You end up right back here at the amplitude 1/2. That is one cycle. Then you come down. You come all the way down. Up. Back up there.